FM 94, The Dark. It is that time. It's time to get to know a band we play here on The Dark. And on the phone right now, I'm talking to Lola Black. And, of course, she's the lead singer, and also the band is named Lola Black. First of all, how you doing, Lola?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Hey, doing pretty good here. I'm enjoying the weather because it's warming up every day. I think we're finally seeing summer. We've gotten rid of the 30 below weather we had back, in January. Now, you're from Denver.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, well, you're from Denver, so you maybe don't get 30 below, but you're used to cold days, right?
Yes, definitely.
What's the weather like out there today?
It's been crazy and rainy, and it's really bipolar over here. If you don't like the weather, in 5 minutes it'll change. You can be in tank top and shorts and flip-flops, go into the grocery store, and come out, and it could be snowing. You never know. It's the weirdest thing.
So what did you?
But we're used to it out here. So
I was going to say, do you bring two different change of clothes when you go to the grocery store, then, or what?
No, we just rock the flip-flops in the snow. We're crazy.
Oh, you gotta love it.
I think a lot of people partake in the Mile High aspect of Denver, Colorado, if you know what I mean.
Well, there you go. Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. How's that been going with the legalization out there?
Personally, I think it's great. It's creating a lot of jobs. We're making a lot of money out here. Everyone's really laid back. The downside is all the transplants that we're getting.
Really? Okay.
A lot of them are coming from California and stuff. So, that's a little pain, and then rent out here and all that is like sky high through the roof.
So the California guys are turning in their surfboards for maybe snowboards?
Yes. Absolutely. I actually have like hippie neighbors, so they've already had their little cannabis party. Like, well, you're invited. We're from California. We're having a cannabis party. I'm like, oh, well, I'm born and raised, so. Very cool,
very cool.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get some background about you, first of all, Lola. And of course, the band is Lola Black. We'll get to that. But how about for you? What's some background music influences for you that kind of steered you in this direction?
Well, I actually started off punk rock girl, punk rock, ska. That was kind of like my beginning, my roots. And then, the older I got, I wanted a little bit more of a sophisticated, heavy sound. And so I was introduced to metal, and I've just fallen in love. Don't get me wrong, I still love my punk and my ska, but I've just added some variety there. And, like stuff like NoFX, Joan Jett, Betty Blowtorch, all the way to like Rob Zombie, Deftones, Marilyn Manson, things like that.
Very cool, very cool. We're talking with Lola Black, and she's the lead singer of the band Lola Black. Let's get to that. How did the band Lola Black all come about? How did it form? Give us the story on this.
Well, I've always loved singing, and I met my husband, Chris, and he's been in the music scene for a very, very long time. He's had anywhere from punk to metal to rap metal bands, and he was ready for something new, and he's like, well, let's start a project. He's like, I'm done being the front man, so I think it's your turn. So there we go.
Then
we started the band, and we found our other guitar player, Paige, we call him Bird. And we decided, the three of us, that we were just going to go ahead and start Lola Black and just kind of base it around something new.
So that's it. That's the story. There's the story for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So Lola Black is the name of the band, and it is at least is your stage name. Is that your real name?
Yes, that's my name.
Oh, okay. Very cool. So we learned that too now. So sometimes you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Like a radio DJ doesn't necessarily use his name, like Jay-Z. Like, yeah, my mom called me Jay-Z, One of those kind of things, right? And I'm not the rapper either. And I'm not married to Beyonce.
To me, I think that's a blessing. I don't think you'd want to be.
Exactly. So,
that's my personal opinion.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, and that's cool. I hear definitely when you mention the punk thing, I do hear that. And we haven't had a lot of your songs yet on the airwaves, but your current song that we're spinning right now, Sorrow and Sin, there is a taste of that a little bit in there. Well, I talk about that song, and in fact, right now, I believe it's currently ranked about 46th this week on the Under the Radar charts, which is cool because that means you're getting some airplay across the whole United States, and people are recognizing that song.
Yes, they are. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. We did that song with Bob Marlette, actually. We recorded 3 singles with him to kind of just get out the gate and get some new stuff out there. But yeah, Sorrow and Sin's my baby, so I'm glad that people are really enjoying it.
What's the story behind the song?
I was raised a Catholic, and just between, growing up and changing and obviously being heavily tattooed and listening to some more edgy music, I questioned a lot of things and kind of struggling between, my just changing beliefs and things like that and just trying to find a balance.
Very cool. You mentioned the tattoos. I know you have a bunch of them. Do you have a favorite tattoo?
Oh my gosh, they're all my favorite, but one of my favorites, I actually have a Queensryche tattoo.
You do?
Have the Empire, yeah. And a few years ago, we did this little mini run with Pop Evil.
Yeah.
And one night we were drinking quite a bit, and we're like, well, it'd be awesome if we could all have matching Queensryche tattoos with Matt Dorito, the bass player of Pop Evil.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, we're going to do that. So we're on the last show, which was actually here in Denver, and he's like, well, you ready to get this tattoo? I'm like, well, we've got 2 hours before we go on stage, so how's that going to happen? He's like, oh, I got a girl here. She's backstage. She's going to do it right here, right now. And so we're in the dark corner trying to, bust out these Empire tattoos before we go on stage. So we go on there and we're oozing and bleeding and things. But, I mean, it's not the best quality tattoo by any means, but it definitely has, some great memories for
I was just going to say, you got a great memory there, and just you can give it to us, too, right now here. You mentioned Queensryche, so are you a big fan of Queensryche, then?
I am. We just played with them a couple weeks ago in Boulder.
Very cool. If you had to pick out of their whole library of music, which I know they've got a ton, what would be one of your favorite Queensryche songs?
I like Silent Lucidity, and I like Empire.
Okay.
Jet City Woman. Oh, there's so many.
Right. Yeah. Now, I'm a guy that goes back even farther. I like The Lady in Black. It's off one of their first albums. A really cool song.
Ooh.
So you have to check that out sometime from them. But very cool.
That kind of speaks to me.
I was just going to say the Lady Wore. Actually, I think it's the exact title is The Lady Wore Black. I believe is the exact title of that. That kind of fits you a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's talk about you and your stage presence a little bit out there. Explain to the listener, if they would go to a Lola Black show, what they would be seeing, and then, of course, kind of visually explain that to them.
A lot of my music are kind of gut-wrenching for me. They mean a lot, and they're just a lot of, soul-searching and growth and development. So a lot of them are just, they mean a lot. So there's a lot of emotion there for me. So it depends on also what kind of mood you catch me in. You never know. I am a woman, so you never know what you're going to get.
I'm going to leave that at that.
I'm also Hispanic, so I'm kind of fiery. So I hear that a lot. If you catch me in a great mood, I might be a little bit more rambunctious and jumping around. You catch me kind of in a little more crappy mood, I might be a little bit more emotional and a little bit more singy, I guess. But I've heard that I'm very animated, and my guys are wild. They're all over the place. And so I just try to kind of stay where I'm not going to get knocked over, because that's happened before, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, but I mean, it's raw, it's energy, it's emotion, it's real.
So let's talk about injuries on stage. Then you mentioned getting knocked around by the guys a little bit, obviously, as they're going all over the place. What is the worst stage injury you've had?
Oh my gosh, it wasn't actually the guys this time.
Okay.
It was I have a light box, and it was kind of teetering around, and so somebody had tried to like level it out but didn't do a very good job. And so we're playing the Carolina Rebellion in North Carolina, and I hop on the box in these 5-inch platform monster boots. And I jump on the thing, and it flips completely around. And I land in the middle of it, and I almost knock my teeth out on the monitor.
Wow.
And I managed to catch myself, but I cut my knee up pretty bad, my arms, my elbows. But my tour manager was like the first one on site picking me up. But I was like, no, we still have 2 songs. I'm good. Give me a shot of Jaeger, and I'm good to go.
I was just going to say, plow on through. That's what you got to do, right?
Yep, you got it. So you just kind of got to laugh it off and keep going. But that was probably the worst. And we had another one where my guitar player, also my husband, well, now he's my bass player. He moved. But he was spinning around and doing some kind of karate kick, I don't know, and he nailed me in the eye with the end of the guitar. And so my eye is just like watering and just black mascara all down my face. And it was not fun. Yes.
So we're learning some war stories here, basically, for Lola Black on the air, obviously out on the stage in that, huh?
Oh, yes.
Hey, you mentioned you played at Carolina Rebel. What was that like, and playing in front of a good-sized crowd, and for that matter, a festival? And it seems like, the old adage lately has been, I guess, Gene Simmons said it, rock is dead and that. But, boy, you go to all these festivals and stuff, and you see thousands upon thousands of people there. I have a hard time saying that rock is dead. I guess, what's your comments on that?
Oh, it's absolutely not dead. I just don't think he's getting out enough to check out all the newer bands.
You think he's getting too
old? I think he is, honestly. It's like, why don't you get out of your cave and come to some of these festivals, and then let's see if you think rock and roll is still dead.
And the thing is, I think what happens, Lola, here is sometimes, radio personnel get kind of pigeonholed into playing certain songs, and maybe that's what he kind of meant by it a little bit, because you don't have the growth like you used to. But I think I'm thinking that programmers now here in the last couple of years are starting to get it again and letting bands that have never been discovered, giving them a chance to be discovered. And the next thing you know is you might have the next big band coming up. It's got to happen somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. You gotta get out there and check out some of these smaller bands, and go to these dive bars, and you'll discover some amazing artists. And so they're just not getting the exposure, and they're just not getting the chance, because the big dogs are kind of they've taken over. But once they're on top, they're staying on top. They need to clear some room.
Let's talk about your band a little bit more, Lola Black, and obviously a female-fronted lead singer in this industry, and it seems to be more and more popular here, say in the last 3 to 5 years. What's your comments about that?
We're just like anybody else. We've got a lot to say. We're angry. We're brutal. And I think we can endure pain, actually, a lot more. Thicker skin than men.
You're not.
I mean, obviously I'm a woman, so I'm going to think that. But no, I think it's amazing, and I can't wait for more and more to kind of pop up, because it is kind of few and far between still. So I'm ready. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for the takeover.
It's funny. You mentioned the pain. I remember talking to a couple other female lead artists. It's the same thing. They said the women can endure the pain more, and I think sometimes this is such a painful business that people don't really realize that. They think it's all glitz and glamour. But there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into this just to get where you're at.
Oh, absolutely.
And of course, a lot of bands sometimes they'll fall off in the wavefront. Now, you mentioned your husband is part of the band too. How does that relationship go out and being out on stage, and for that matter, being out in the crowd and with fans and all that? How does that work out?
We have our good days and we have our bad days.
Okay.
It's really hard. I mean, the good thing is when we are out on the road, we're together, so we're getting to experience a lot of really cool things together, and there's no jealousy issues as far as my significant other's on tour and I'm sitting at the house, like, right. What are they doing, who are they with? So there's none of those issues. The only real struggle with us is he used to be the frontman of his old bands, and now it's me. So we have those egos there, the frontman ego, and so sometimes we'll butt heads over that. But we find common ground. We've been doing this for a while, and we've been married for a while, so we're kind of getting it down finally. I feel bad for the guys more so than us.
I bet you, yeah, I suppose. There gets to be maybe some battles at times where the guys just turn their head and go the other way, huh?
Yeah, they're like, we'll see you at the bar.
Exactly. We're talking with Lola Black, and I should mention that. Lola, do you and your husband collaborate a lot and write the stuff, or who helps you out write the music?
Yeah, Chris and I, we do. It's the two of us. We'll bounce ideas together, off of lyrics, and so I'll write a bunch of stuff, and he'll go through, and he's like, okay, let's scratch this, put this, and since we have been together for so long, and we have a lot of the same feelings and emotions, like we understand where we're coming from. So he understands the kind of message I'm trying to put out there because he's seen a lot of my strife. So. And then as far as music goes, Chris and my other guitar player, he's my new guitar player now, Taylor, they are actually writing a bunch of new stuff, and it's a whole new sound, so I cannot wait for everyone to hear it.
Very cool, very cool.
Yes, we're going in a slightly different direction.
Okay.
And we're going to get a little bit heavier.
All right. Yeah, I was just going to say, are you able to share us kind of what you're planning on doing? So heaviness is what's coming, huh?
Yeah, because our previous album, Till Death Do Us Part, it was still very punky and kind of poppy, and we grew tired of that. We did it for too long. And so we went a little bit darker and a little bit deeper with our three singles with Bob Marlette, Sorrow and Sin being one of them. And so we're going a little bit more in that direction, but I didn't think that was quite gut-wrenching enough. So I really want to I just really want to dig deep and get as deep as I can, and it will be a little bit darker. It will be a little bit heavier. But it will be radio-friendly.
Well, the cool thing is it's going to be darker, and you're on the dark right now, so that's cool.
Perfect, see? Perfect.
So it'll fit perfect here. And you mentioned radio-friendly. Let's talk about that. Have you heard any of your music on the radio?
We've had a few singles out here in Denver on KBPI. Baracho, which was one of it is like super punk all the way. We still play this to this day. It's one of our fan favorites. That one gets a lot of radio play. And then we had another one, Self-Medicated is also a pretty big one out here. And that one was a little bit deeper and darker, and people really like that. They want something, that's real, that's emotion that they can relate to.
I mentioned the radio thing. You have heard your song on the radio? What does it mean, I guess, when you hear your music on the radio to you?
Oh my gosh, it's unreal. I still geek out to this day when I hear it. And then I see my name kind of flash across the little radio band on my car. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Hey, am I calling myself? Oh no, we're on the radio.
Yeah, every now and then I will be a dork and I will take a picture. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's all right. We're all dorks at heart, right?
Yes, I still geek out very much so.
I like that.
It still is unreal, and I've been working really hard at this for a long time, so it's really rewarding and it feels good, that I can have that experience.
Well, that's awesome. I know you guys have been doing some touring, and some touring I'm assuming is coming up in the horizon too. What are some plans for that?
Well, we actually just got picked up by Artery Global, so now they are our booking agent.
Okay.
And so they've got some big plans in the works for us, and I know we've been working closely with them and with our manager and with Radio Contraband. So they've got huge plans.
Awesome.
And I think they're setting something up in August.
Okay.
August and September. As to where, I don't know, it does what it's told, and I go where they tell me to go.
You go where they go, exactly. Have you ever been to Minnesota before?
Minnesota? No, I have not.
You have not?
No.
Huh,
but
okay.
I will.
Well, I tell you what.
I will.
Here's the deal, Lola. If you do come to Minnesota and it's in the winter time, since you wear flip-flops when, it's, whatever, 80 degrees and then it snows up in Colorado, you probably don't want to wear flip-flops here in the winter time. But if you do come, I'll invite you out on the ice and we can do some ice fishing. Have you ever done that before?
No, I have not, but I would love to.
Have you, hang around in the ice house. And these ice houses, they're not like some little old shack, okay? There's some pretty nice ice houses now. Probably better than the houses people live in, so...
Oh, sweet.
So it's
yes,
all decked
I would
out.
love that.
We'd love to have you come up here sometime if you do come up this way. What I was going to
I'll bring my snow boots and skip the flip-flop.
There you go. Bring the snow boots, bring the guitar, and we'll just rock out. That'd be cool.
Perfect.
Hey, let's get to, we mentioned the touring and that. If you had to put together your ultimate 3-band bill, so it's going to be Lola Black going out with some other bands, who would you like to go out on tour with?
My absolute favorite, Rob Zombie.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I could see that. Yep.
And we've been asked this question a few times, so, my guys would always put in their favorite bands, and we would kind of, mix and match.
Yep.
But I really like their answers, so I'm going to steal them. Deftones.
Okay, yep.
And Bring Me the Horizon.
Bring Me the Horizon, which has really been up and coming in the last couple of years, so...
They're brilliant musicians.
Hey,
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of them, too. Next question, and I don't know if you've been asked this question or not, but let's put your thinking cap on here for a minute. So what artist, and it can be any artist out there, would you like to cover one of your songs?
Ooh, that's a good one.
So who would you like out there, it can be any genre, anything, to cover a Lola Black song?
I would really, really, really love for Chino. Definitely.
Yes. I could see that.
I take a lot from him in my singing style. I learned how to scream just by singing along to Deftones, actually. And just his melodic, singing to screaming, the dynamics is gorgeous to me. I love it. And so I would love, since I take so much from him, I'd like to hear him do it.
All right, so we've got the ultimate band bill with the Deftones. We got Chino that's going to cover the song. So all we have to do is get you on that tour. You guys can meet a little bit, chat, and then you can make that happen someday.
Yes, absolutely. Chino would love me. I know it.
I'm sure he probably would. I could see that. I could definitely see that. And I'm sure there's a lot of fans that are going to love what you're doing right now, and it sounds like you're going to get a little heavier, a little darker. I'm digging that already just hearing that. Let's talk about the future for Lola Black, and for that matter, how do people get involved, more information about the band, get the music, all that kind of stuff?
So we have a website, and it's lolablackmusic.com, and it's usually pretty updated. I think you need to do a quick update, but we also have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of that is Lola Black Music as well. Same with YouTube, and yeah. Awesome.
We're going to play your latest song, Sorrow and Sin, right now. Sound good?
Perfect.
Hey, it's a lot of fun chatting with you, and hopefully you get a chance to see you. If it doesn't have to be winter. You can come up here in the summer. I'm just offering if you come up in the winter, we can do some ice fishing, okay?
I would love that.
All right, Lola.
Any time of the year, I would love to come and visit you.
Well, absolutely. Hopefully we'll get you up here. I know you got a lot of fans up in this area, and we were spinning your latest song here, Sorrow and Sin. And I believe you just added it, to nationwide now. Am I correct on that? They just kind of got it out the other day here. I noticed it on All Access, so you must be getting it out to everybody now.
Yes, we're on a mission.
Absolutely.
We are on a serious mission here.
Well, I think you're in the right direction. I think the music sounds great, and I wish you the best of luck.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Once again, that is Lola Black. Their latest song is called Sorrow and Sin. You're hearing it right now. It's on The Dark. It's on FM 94.